Alright, and welcome to differences of cubes. Now, let's go ahead and start off with our formula for the differences of cubes. And why is it called a differences of cubes? Well, a cube is anything to the third power, and the word difference means to subtract. So if we have something that is a cubed minus b cubed, we can actually write this formula. We can write a minus b, parentheses, a squared plus ab plus b squared. Now, you'll notice that this formula is very similar to our last one, and I want you to notice if this is the sign that we're concerned with, that we are subtracting our two cubes, well then this first sign for between the a and b will always be the same. This sign will always be the opposite, and this sign is always positive. And if you can kind of remember that, it'll go a long ways towards helping you remember this formula. So let's take a look at our very first example. Here's example 1. Oh, I don't know. Let's take a look at x cubed minus 27. That's a pretty common one. So if you want, you can go to any calculator. You can take the cube root of something. But here, let's just say this. All right, if I were to take a look at 27 and I were to take the cube root, well, I know 27 breaks down into let's say 3 and 9. And I know that 9 breaks down into 3 and 3. So notice I've got my 3 terms there. So you can say the cube root of 27 is 3. So what are we really saying here? We're saying that when we go to write this formula, that our a is equal to our x term and b is equal to 3. Put another way, we could say this. X cubed is really like saying the value of x being cubed minus 3 cubed. And how are we going to write out our formula? Well, let me switch colors here, and we could say this. We could say, okay, since our a value is x and our b value is 3, we can do x minus 3, parentheses, our a value is squared, so x squared is just x squared, and then we'll put this plus sign, and then we have 3 times x, which is 3x, and lastly, we have plus b squared, so I'll put plus 3 squared, which is 9. Alright, and that's how easy that is once you understand how to use the formula. Let's move on to a second example. Okay, for example 2, we have x cubed minus 64. If I were to break down 64 and find its cube root, well, I know that this is really 4 times 16, or y'all could have done 8 and 8, or y'all could have done 2 and 32. It doesn't really matter. But I know that 16 breaks down into 4 and 4, and notice we have 3 4s. So the cube root of 64 is equal to 4. Or to put this another way, we could say that our a value is equal to x and our b value is equal to 4. X cubed is really saying the value of x cubed minus 4 cubed. Okay, and let's go ahead and write our formula. So we know the formula is going to be a minus b, parentheses, a squared plus a times b plus b squared, and now we can fill it all in. Our a value, I'll put in this nice green color here, is x, so I can put x minus, and our b value is 4, parentheses, a squared, so what is x squared? Well, that's x squared, and then we'll put plus because we put the opposite of the minus, and a times b will be 4x, plus, what is 4 squared? Well, of course, 4 squared is 16, 4 times 4. And there is our answer. We have now factored x cubed minus 64. All right, let's go try one more example. Okay, for our last example, we have example 3. And you'll notice this one's a little bit trickier. We have 8x cubed minus 729. Okay, so let's go ahead and start out with 8. What you want to do here is if you have a coefficient in front of the x cubed, you still just want to find the cube root of that. I know 8 breaks down into 2 and 4, 4 breaks down into 2 and 2, and we could circle those. And so we know that the cube root of 8 is 2. So another way, when I go to write this, is I can say, well, you know what? 2x cubed is the same as writing 8x cubed, which means that my a value is 2x. What about my b value? Well, guys, I would say that the cube root of 729, that's a little bit too tedious. So I would encourage you just to go to Desmos Scientific Calculator, type this in, and you will get out 9. All right, and you can test it. 9 times 9 times 9 will give you 729. Okay, so I know that my b term is 9. All right, so what are we really saying here? We're saying 2x cubed minus 9 cubed, and so now I have my a term and my b term. Okay, and so what will this look like once I factor it? Well, remember we have a minus b, so 2x minus 9, parentheses, and then it's going to be a minus b, and then we have a squared, a squared, and what's 2x times 2x? That'd be 4x squared, plus a times b, what's 2x times 9? Well, that's plus 18x, and lastly, plus b squared. Well, 9 squared is plus 81. All right, guys, we have just factored 8x cubed minus 729. All right, good luck with this, and I'll catch y'all in our next lesson.